She demanded a divorce. It's the best choice for me. I replied, if you say so. Then reality hit when my lawyer presented her with the ironclad prenup she'd signed. The emotional fallout was her frantically realizing her good choice meant she got nothing. Original post. I 45M. Guess I'm still trying to wrap my head around it all. It's been a whirlwind, and not the fun kind. More like the life-imploding kind. About a month ago, my wife, Jessica, 42F, sat me down. We'd been married for 10 years. No kids. We had what I thought was a pretty decent life. Comfortable home, good careers. I own a moderately successful software consultancy. She's a marketing manager for a lifestyle brand. We traveled, had our own hobbies, and generally, things seemed stable. So, when she looked at me that evening, eyes cool and distant, and said, "Mark, I want a divorce. It's the best choice for me." It felt like a punch to the gut I never saw coming. Just like that. I remember just looking at her. 10 years. For you? I asked, trying to keep my voice even. Yes, she said. No hesitation. I've outgrown this, Mark. I need more. This is what's best for me, to find my own happiness. My mind was racing. What else was there to say? The way she said it, so clinical, a switch flipped in me. Hurt. Hell yeah. But underneath it, a slow burn of anger and, weirdly, resolve. Okay, I finally said, if you say so. The next day, I called Ms. Evans, the lawyer who'd handled some business contract for me. Sharp as a tack. I told her what happened. Then I mentioned the one thing Jessica seemed to have conveniently forgotten. The prenup. Yeah, we had one. Insisted on by me. My business, which I had founded a few years prior and was beginning to show significant promise, was my primary concern. Jessica had laughed it off at the time. Oh, Mark's so cynical. We'll never need that. Signed it without much fuss, her own lawyer reviewing it. It was ironclad. Separate property remained separate. Any appreciation of my business assets remained mine. Marital property was minimal. Ms. Evans listened and said, let her lawyer make the first move. So I waited. Jessica moved into the spare room, a silent, tense truce in the house. She was surprisingly cheerful, almost liberated. Humming, making plans on the phone with her best friend Sarah, talking about her new chapter. She just assumed this would be an easy split, probably thought she'd walk away with a hefty settlement. Boy, was she in for a shock. Update 1, 2 weeks later. Okay, things kicked off. Jessica hired a lawyer, Mr. Henderson. We got the letter. Demand for divorce, proposal for mediation, and a request for temporary spousal support to maintain her lifestyle. Ms. Evans, my lawyer, sent back our response, polite but unambiguous, with a copy of the prenuptial agreement attached. The phone call came a day later. Mr. Henderson, sounding flustered, called Ms. Evans. Apparently, Jessica hadn't mentioned the prenup in any great detail. Then came the direct confrontation. Jessica stormed into my home office last night, face flushed, Sarah, her best friend, with her. Jessica, what is this nonsense about a prenup, Mark? Henderson said your lawyer is trying to use some old piece of paper to say, I get nothing. Me? It's not some old piece of paper, Jessica. It's a legally binding document we both signed with independent legal counsel. Sarah, after 10 years, Mark, and all the support she gave you with your business, you can't just leave her with nothing. Me, keeping my voice calm. My business, founded before our marriage and already growing, was designated as separate property in the prenup. Your support didn't change its legal status. And she's the one who demanded the divorce. Jessica, but I didn't mean I'd be left with nothing. That's not fair. I assumed. Her voice was rising, confidence cracking. Me, you assumed wrong. The prenup is clear. Ms. Evans will handle discussions with Mr. Henderson. Sarah, he's trying to screw you, Jess. My cousin got half of everything. Me, your cousin probably didn't sign an ironclad prenup, Sarah. This is contract law. Jessica looked stunned. The idea that her best choice might have undesirable consequences for her was clearly a novel concept. She started to tear up. But my plans, how am I supposed to live? That, I said, turning back to my computer is something you should have considered before you decided this was the best choice for you. They left, muttering about how I was being cruel. The emotional fallout was beginning. Update 2, 1 month later. The past couple of weeks have been interesting. Jessica's entitlement has gone into overdrive, and the dirty tricks have begun. First, Mr. Henderson tried to argue the prenup was signed under duress or misunderstood. Ms. Evans shut that down with records of Jessica's lawyer, confirming she understood the terms. Then, Jessica's mom, Linda, called me, tears and accusations about her daughter's dedication. I politely stated this was a legal matter for the lawyers. Next, the social media campaign, vague posts from Jessica and direct ones from Sarah about selfish husbands. Some mutual acquaintances looked at me sideways. The really low blow. An anonymous source suggested to one of my major clients that my personal troubles were affecting my company's stability. Luckily, I have a solid relationship with this client and reassured them. I have a strong suspicion who that source was. Ms. Evans documented this. Jessica herself alternated between tearful texts, "I made a mistake," and angry voicemails, "You own me." I don't respond. All communication goes through Ms. Evans, per her rules. Mr. Henderson's latest demand was for a massive lump sum settlement to avoid a messy court battle. Basically blackmail. He argued a judge might find the prenup unconscionable. Ms. Evans's response was epic. The prenup was fair. Jessica entered it willingly with full legal advice, and her current situation is a direct result of her own choices. She also noted Jessica's recent actions, like trying to damage my business, wouldn't look good to a judge. The revenge is holding firm, watching her entitlement crash against legal reality. She thought she could snap her fingers and walk away with half of what I'd built. The consequences are hitting. Any sentimentality I had is burning away fast. Final update, 3 months later. It's over. The divorce was finalized last week. The emotional fallout for Jessica? Pretty spectacular from what I hear. The prenup held. No surprise to Ms. Evans or me, but a massive shock for Jessica. What she got. Asterisk her share of the equity from our house sale. Decent, but not the windfall she expected. Asterisk her personal savings and belongings. Asterisk no spousal support. The prenup had a waiver, and her earning capacity and actions didn't help her case. What she didn't get. Asterisk any part of my business or its appreciation. Asterisk the lavish lifestyle significantly funded by my income. According to a mutual acquaintance, Jessica had a full meltdown when the final terms were laid out. Screaming, crying, blaming everyone but herself. Her best choice meant drastically downsizing. No more designer shopping. No more fancy vacations on my dime. She's apparently in a small apartment, struggling to adjust. Her mother, Linda, still spins the poor Jessica narrative, but most who know the full story see it for what it is. Sarah is conspicuously absent from Jessica's side now. The attempt to smear my business backfired. My client relationship is stronger. As for me, a brief, wistful acknowledgement of a chapter closed, then profound relief. The constant tension is gone. The revenge wasn't about destruction. It was about letting her choices and the legal document she willingly signed play out. She demanded a divorce because it was best for her. She never considered what that would look like without my finances, protected by that old piece of paper. She gambled. The prenup was my ace. I'm moving on, business thriving, enjoying the peace. Turns out, this divorce was the best choice for me.